Hello, this is Matthew Miller from the ZDNet Mobile Gadgeteer, and in my hands I have my Nook again. This time it was updated today to the version 1.1.0 software firmware update, which gives you a few more additional features and performance improvements. Nothing extremely major, but I'll just kind of give you a walkthrough, and if you look at my last video and compare this one, you will see some improvements in the performance, and also I'll show you a side-by-side page turn with my Sony 505. One thing I had mentioned before was that the Sony 505 was like the best display for reading on the e-ink display. Now, after comparing side by side a little bit more, I actually think the Nook is even better, with even better fonts than what the Sony 505 had. And the Kindle 1 had a great display. The Kindle 2, the fonts were not as bold, and the background was not as white, so the contrast was not as good as you do see on the Nook. Now let's just browse through some of this. As far as content goes, things like the daily and the library and things like that haven't changed. You do now get access to in-store content and promotions, and I have some pictures, some still photos in my write-up, because I actually had a promotion for a free cookie that I took advantage of today, and I'll talk about that in my post. And there was some other content, 9 pieces of content that were also included in the store. Okay, so this is the daily, and as you can see as I bounce around, it is pretty fast here. We'll go to the library. We can see these are my particular documents. We can bounce to the Barnes & Noble library that I have. And as you can see, it'll load. That's pretty fast. As you see up top, it has a sample that I have, Witch and Wizard from James Patterson. Books, there's one on loan. There's a new book, Going Rogue from Sarah Palin. I ordered that. Now that status is, it's a pre-order book that doesn't come available till the 26th. They fixed kind of that update. Down at the bottom here, they have a new thing called View Item Details and Options. If I was to select, for example, the Witch and Wizard up top, and this right button here selects to open it, if I select that, it should open right to the book where I can read it, okay? Or if it's new, it's formatting it. So there we go. That's where I last was reading at. In the previous to this update, you would select it. It would go to a page, do you want to read or view details? There was an interim display. Now, when you select something, it understands that you mean to read it, automatically jumps you right into reading the book, which is a good thing. If we go back to the library, so if you didn't want to, you can select View Item Details and Options, and then you would see that interim screen for that particular one, which we saw before, where now it says Read By, View, Overview. Now when you select it, it will jump right into reading it. Okay? Again, it has the show covers and check for the new content and that kind of thing. Viewing my documents, so the other documents I have loaded on there. Okay, let's go back to the main view. Go to Shop. As you can see, that was a faster transition between all of those. The navigation has gotten a little bit snappier as well. So this is the typical Barnes & Noble store. Down at the bottom we see the offers and articles. I have some screenshots of how these changed when you're actually in the store, where there was 2 different little offer sections down here. When I was in the store, there was one for a free cookie, and there was another one for some free content within the store. Now you can see that I'm not at a Barnes & Noble store, so I'm not seeing access to those. Bounce back out, and we go to Reading Now. It jumps back to where I was reading, and as you can see, when you do select Reading Now, it jumps right to the book without doing the formatting and other things. So it is faster. Okay, now let's go to my library. I'm going to open up a book and go to my documents. Now, what I talked about in a previous post since my last video was that the content from a lot of my other resources, including the Sony Reader, now then EPUB, work on this device as well. So I've transferred some Sony Reader content, some short covers content, lots of different content from other sources that I now can read on my Nook. so I don't lose out on all that content I previously purchased. So I'm going to open up Microcritons next, and okay, so there it is there. Let me grab my Sony reader over here. I'm going to go ahead and put it side by side and try to do this. So here they are side by side, and you know, it's probably not very good to tell in this video the viewing, but this the Sony reader was great display because it has a light background and nice fonts. It has kind of a on the background there's it's like a paper look to it. It has a bit of I don't even know how to say it, static kind of stuff in the background. This one is much more clean in the background, and these fonts, of course, you can change them. I've got it Helvetica New Small currently. I'm trying to match up the same size of the font as the small on this one, but it is more viewable to me. And now we're going to go ahead and check out how page views or page turns have improved in this latest update. Now what you'll see is that I don't think they're going to be significant. However, they are better than what we saw on the last video, which was about I believe it was about almost double the time if I looked on the timer. So let's go ahead and flip through a few pages. So I'll try to press forward at the same time. Here we go. And again. And again. So I will time these to see, let's try it again. I'll time it in the video to see, but last time it was like double the speed. I'm seeing much less than that actually this time, as we see that the pages refreshes are much better. Let's try back a couple pages. So the Nook is just like a half a second behind the Sony reader, much faster than it was before, that's for sure. And personally, I never found it a problem. I mean, the Nook is designed as a reader, right? And the display is fantastic. So when I got to the last line, I would hit the page turn, and I would be on the next page as I was ready to start reading, which is still much faster than a physical book of turning the page. So as you can see, it is faster, and we'll see if you time this video with my last video, you'll see that that is indeed faster. And like I said, I mean, there's a lot of people that are slamming the Nook, but I mean, I personally, several reasons I like it. The e-ink display is one of the best I've ever seen. It's a large, nice display. I don't have a keyboard being taken up. I have a display down here that I can easily navigate with, and as you can see, it is much snappier than it was before. You know, for shopping with both Wi-Fi and an AT&T network. And as you can see, as I bounce around here, this is pretty responsive. If I hit the button right, that is. You know, between my library, which I can load up with short covers, Sony reader content, Fiction-Wise, e-reader, Barnes & Noble, and every one of those just about has coupons all the time, so you can really get some nice low price deal content and put it right on your device, right? Okay, so that's kind of a look at the Nook update 1.1.0, and much nicer Nook, and personally, it's my favorite ebook reader device. Thanks for watching.